capture. There's more stillness, more space to breathe. It's a season filled with reflection, quiet wisdom, and hopefully a little more peace. You've worked hard, you've given so much, and now there's this gentle hope that the years ahead will be softer. Less noise, more meaning. Time to spend with the people who really matter. Time to enjoy mornings without rushing, evenings without stress, and conversations that actually nourish your heart. But here's the truth that not enough people talk about. This season can also be fragile. The peace you've earned doesn't just protect itself. It depends heavily on who you let into your life, and just as importantly, who you keep out. Because not every relationship deserves your time, and not every knock on the door should be answered. There comes a moment when no stops being rude and starts being necessary. By now, you've lived enough life to know that not all company is good company. Some people, no matter how long you've known them or how deeply you've cared, have a way of leaving you emotionally tired. They drain your joy. They take advantage of your kindness. Some people just carry a storm wherever they go. And when they leave, it's your spirit that feels soaked and heavy. And it's not always easy to step away. Maybe you feel a sense of duty, or maybe you've just gotten used to their presence over the years. But that sense of obligation, it can quietly chip away at your peace. As we grow older, the value of our time becomes crystal clear. Every visit, every phone call, every interaction should feel like it gives something back to you. Some warmth, a little comfort, or at the very least, peace. Anything that steals that is too costly now. You've given enough. You've cared enough. Now is the time to protect your space like the treasure it is. There's a kind of wisdom that quietly settles in after 65. It teaches you that joy must be guarded, that your energy is not endless, and that peace is worth more than approval. You don't need to say yes just to keep the peace, especially when that peace only exists for others, never for you. Sadly, some people still expect you to be their audience, their outlet, or their punching bag. But here's something worth remembering. You don't owe anyone that. Not anymore. This isn't about turning cold or holding on to resentment. It's about choosing your own well-being, about realizing that your days are precious, and that the second half of your life deserves to be lived differently than the first. You've raised families, worked hard, kept promises, carried burdens. Now it's time to keep one promise to yourself, to stop walking into rooms that rob you of peace. Some houses, some conversations, some relationships, they simply take more than they give. And once you start to see it clearly, it's impossible to ignore. You begin to feel it in your body. The tiredness after a visit, the heaviness in your chest, the silence that doesn't soothe you but unsettles you. These are signs, real signs, and they matter. This is not about judgment. It's about self-preservation. And past a certain age, self-preservation is not selfish. It's survival. If you ever feel guilty about stepping back, remember this. Protecting your peace is not unkind. It's wise. So let's talk about the kind of people whose homes you might need to stop visiting. Not to punish them, but to honor yourself. Because life is too short. And these next chapters deserve more joy than tension. More laughter than obligation. More peace than pretending. Movie camera, and if you're finding this message helpful or even just a little comforting, take a moment to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. This space is for real conversations, heartfelt, honest, and focused on helping you live with more clarity and confidence. Your support helps build a community of thoughtful, intentional people just like you. Thank you for being here. Now let's talk about that first kind of person. You know the one, the person who, no matter what's happening, always finds something to complain about. The weather is too hot. Their health is worse than ever. The world is falling apart. Their kids don't call. Their neighbors are awful. You could be sitting in a sunny room with tea and soft music, and somehow, within 10 minutes, everything feels gray. They bring a heaviness that's hard to shake. And while you may have spent years patiently listening, gently encouraging, or trying to lift their spirits, over time, something changes. Their words start to settle into your bones. You walk out of their home not feeling lighter, but heavier, not comforted, but worn out. And suddenly, being with them doesn't feel like a visit. It feels like emotional labor. What makes it harder is that they're not really looking for help. They're not trying to solve anything. They don't want to heal. They want to stay in the cycle, complain, receive sympathy, repeat. And in your younger years, maybe you had the energy for that. But now, you've only got so much emotional space, and it should be reserved for people who lift you, not drain you. You spent a lifetime caring, being strong for others, showing up. But now it's okay to acknowledge that your presence is not something to be given freely to everyone. You don't need to sit through hours of complaints, especially when they come from someone who refuses to grow or change. That's not kindness, that's quiet self-neglect. And ask yourself, what are you actually getting from this relationship? Do you leave these visits feeling warm, inspired, or grateful? Or do you leave feeling small, tense, or strangely sad? That feeling in your gut, that tightness, that fatigue, is your inner self speaking up. And it's saying, you deserve better. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to argue or have a long emotional talk. Sometimes, the best way to protect your peace is with silence, with distance, with simply not showing up anymore. Let your absence say what your heart can't. Love them, yes, but from afar. Because you deserve joy now. You deserve quiet mornings, peaceful afternoons, and restful sleep. You deserve conversations that leave you smiling, not sighing. And the more you step away from draining people, the more you'll find yourself walking into spaces that feel healing, warm, and true. That's the life you're meant for now. A life not of survival, but of serenity. Not just any kind of living, but a deeply peaceful one. And that begins by choosing who gets a seat at your table, and whose home you quietly stop visiting. The fourth. Then there's the kind of person who always seems to make everything about them. Their stories, their needs, their frustrations, their opinions. There's rarely room for anything or anyone else. When you visit their home, you may walk in with hope for connection, but you quickly realize you're not really there to be seen or heard. You're there to listen, to nod, to be the audience to their endless monologue. The conversation doesn't go two ways. It circles back to them every time. They might not mean harm. In fact, they may be completely unaware of how self-absorbed they become. But the result is the same. You leave feeling invisible, like a background character in a play you never auditioned for. You try to share something about your own life, and they interrupt. You mention a concern or a joy, and they brush past it like it never mattered. You're not met with warmth or interest. You're met with distraction or indifference. And over time, this kind of treatment leaves a mark. It slowly chips away at your sense of worth. It makes you question if your voice even matters anymore. But here's the truth. It does. More than ever. After 65, your time, your thoughts, your feelings, they all carry deep value. You've lived through love and loss, success and struggle, joy and pain. You've earned the right to be heard, to be respected, to be met with genuine interest. Conversations at this stage of life should feel like connection, not competition. But with self-centered people, connection is nearly impossible. They're too busy talking to notice who's listening, or if anyone's listening at all. What's especially draining is that these individuals often ignore boundaries too. They expect you to be available when they need something. They might drop in unannounced, guilt you into saying yes, or pressure you into doing things you'd rather not do. Their focus is always on what they want, not what you need. And while you may have tolerated this in the past out of politeness, loyalty, or habit, it's okay to decide that you no longer have the energy for one-sided relationships. Because here's the thing. You shouldn't have to fight for space in your own life. You shouldn't have to shrink just to fit into someone else's world. And you definitely shouldn't feel guilty for needing balance, respect, or mutual care in the relationships you keep. This stage of life is not about proving yourself to anyone. It's about honoring what you've already proven to yourself. You've earned the right to choose peace, to spend your time with people who uplift you, not ignore you, who ask how you are, and actually listen to the answer. If someone constantly takes without giving, talks without listening, demands without caring, it's perfectly okay to step back. You don't need a dramatic goodbye. You don't need to explain or defend your distance. You can love them from afar, wish them well, but choose quietly and confidently to protect your emotional space. Because after 65, your energy is gold, and your time, it's sacred. Give it to people who make you feel seen, who meet your kindness with gratitude, who let you speak and truly hear you. These are the people who deserve a place in your life. Not just now, but always. Speech balloon, if this resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video that speaks to your heart. This space is here for you, for your peace, your voice, and your journey. Let's keep building this thoughtful community, one honest conversation at a time. Choosing to avoid these homes is a step toward reclaiming your peace and joy. It's about honoring the hard-earned wisdom that tells you your presence matters, your feelings matter, your comfort matters. You've spent a lifetime giving to others. Now is the time to surround yourself with people who give back, not just in words, but through genuine care and respect. When you stop going where you are not valued, you make room for healthier, more balanced relationships that uplift and sustain you. The years after 65 are precious and limited, and how you spend them shapes your experience of life itself. Prioritizing peace over obligation, respect over discomfort, and kindness over exhaustion is not selfish. It's necessary. By choosing carefully whom you visit and whom you allow into your life, you protect the peace you deserve and nurture the happiness you've earned. At the heart of it all, life after 65 is a time to cherish peace, dignity, and joy. You've lived through enough challenges and triumphs to know that not everyone deserves a place in your daily world. Protecting your time and energy isn't about shutting people out or being unkind. It's about honoring the wisdom you've gained and the value of your own well-being. You deserve to spend your days surrounded by people who uplift you, respect your boundaries, and bring calm into your life, not chaos or constant strain. Avoiding these 4 types of people, the constant complainers, the controllers, the drama seekers, and the self-centered, isn't a rejection of love or a denial of compassion. It's a clear, compassionate choice to safeguard your emotional health. It's a way to say to yourself, I matter. My peace matters. And when you say that enough, you create a life filled with more laughter, more connection, and more fulfillment. You may find that as you step back from draining relationships, new opportunities for meaningful connection arise. Friends who truly listen, family members who honor your experience, and quiet moments that restore your spirit. These are the gifts of choosing wisely. It's not always easy to let go, especially when love and history are involved. But remember, loving yourself sometimes means creating space where your heart can breathe freely. So as you move forward, be gentle but firm with yourself and others. Recognize that protecting your peace is a form of respect for yourself and for everyone in your life. The energy you save and the calm you nurture will ripple into every part of your days, making your journey after 65 not just bearable, but truly beautiful. You deserve that. And it's never too late to start living it. If you found this message helpful or inspiring, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you never miss a thoughtful conversation like this. Your support means a lot and helps create a community where we can share wisdom, grow together, and protect our peace at every stage of life. Join us on this journey. There's so much more to explore and learn.